This is where we are all at right now with the people that were able to come to the boot camp for Social Client Expert. And what we have is a room full of about 50 people, and we have Landon, and I'm just going to turn it over to him.
Oh, that was brutal. How's it going, everybody? Glad you're here. Thank you so much for being part of this first coaching call. Honored to have you. Thank you for your time.
That was his part. All right, so with that, will this be recorded? Yes, it is being recorded. It will be placed into the area under the bonuses. You got to click on the bonus tab. That will open up where the coaching calls are. You also have the recordings of the previous coaching calls that we've done and the way that you ask questions. Most of you have figured that out by telling us how bad the sound was. So then everyone here knows how loud I can yell because I was trying to get everyone's attention to be quiet so we could do this. Sorry if I hurt people's feelings, but not really. All right, so with that, what we're going to do is we're not going to be changing the slide a whole lot. What we want to do, this is a coaching session, not a training. So one of the things I want to do is share with you. Let's see, Harold Clay said, "You rock." Everybody's clapping for you, and that's much better. And let me get back up here. And Carlos said, on a positive note, "Your training is top notch, Landon."
Well, thank you. That means a lot. Thank you so much for 5 stars.
Right.
5 stars.
5 stars.
5-star training. All right, so with that, I'll have it to, will this be recorded? So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and flip this over. Do you have any shout outs that you want to mention real quick before we go into the questions?
Yeah, I just wanted a couple shout outs to a lot of people that we're working with. I just want to say congratulations. Dustin's here. We just had an awesome onboarding call. Congratulations, just welcome a new client. Everybody give him a round of applause. So right here on the spot, we had his first onboarding call. I won't tell you what he named it, but there was a funny joke between he and I, so I'm an insider, so you're probably thinking I'm weird, but don't worry about it.
Yes.
Dustin is one of those kind of guys, and once you get to meet him, you love him. But there's so many stories like that. I just want to say a big thank you to everybody that's here at the boot camp. Wish you guys here online were able to make it as well. Excited to be able to answer any of the questions that you've gone through with the training thus far.
But Clay says Dustin is the man, so Landon is a bit distant. We're going to have to move up. And he also, his voice isn't as deep and loud as mine.
That's a good thing.
He'll grow into it.
Everybody says that's a good thing. Absolutely.
All right, so Landon, why don't you kind of share a little bit with them? There's not any questions there right now. A little bit about some of what you shared about some of the campaigns that you have running right now, the type of industries that the people are having success with, so that we can kind of get things moving a little bit.
Well, sure. One of the things I want to bring up that I brought up here at the boot camp when it comes to 3 things that you need to be focused on. I don't have my slides in front of me, but that's okay. But we'll wing it and have a great time here.
I can get them.
No, that's good. That's good.
No,
When it
I can get them.
That's okay. We're fine with this right here. I'm hurting Jody's feelings. Everybody needs to hug Jody right now. He needs such a big, big glass of water, deep breath, and a big hug. Is that okay?
Yeah.
But a few things I want to bring up to your attention when it comes to Facebook, and I know this is going to be repetitive for some of you guys because we talked about this yesterday. But when it comes to Facebook, there's 3 things that you need to be paying attention to, especially right now, mid-year 2018. One is Facebook Analytics. Facebook Analytics is coming out with some really cool tools. You can see that inside your ads manager. You want to be able to pay attention to that, connect that to your website, connect that to your ads manager, and start going through the tutorials so that you can get very familiar with what it is to be able to track success of your campaigns. So when you get a chance, you can Google Facebook Analytics. We actually have a PowerPoint slide that I used here, and I'll give GoMobile's permission to be able to send it out to everybody that's part of this coaching call. That's going to be very important so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So don't worry about it if you're taking notes. Just write down Facebook Analytics. The purpose of that is to be able to have the clear tracking. If anybody's ever done Google Analytics in the past, you know that Facebook Analytics is going to be even better. What's that? That is not it.
You want to get to Facebook ads that are working?
It is the future of Facebook. Sorry, guys. A little caught me off guard with some PowerPoint slides.
Targeting features.
No, it's not up
They
there.
can't see my screen.
That's okay. So the Facebook Analytics is the first thing. The second thing that you need to be paying attention to when it comes to Facebook is Facebook groups. Groups are a big deal right now, where if you're doing any kind of social media management, if you're helping clients with social consultation, you want to be able to encourage them to be a part of groups. And the reason why is that Facebook is really hot and heavy right now, especially with all the updates that's going on. Ever since we've launched this course, Facebook's gone through a big upheaval about privacy policy. I want to give me a 1 if you saw Mark Zuckerberg on Capitol Hill. Drop a 1 in the comment section. Anybody? Nobody watches the news? That's good. No need to watch the news. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Clay. Yep, and Europe, absolutely. They keep coming in. That's awesome. But what it boils down to is that Facebook is updating their privacy policies. They're updating, making sure that everybody that's on Facebook understands what's happening to their data when they're engaged with the Facebook app and the related apps that are integrated with Facebook. And so what they're really focused on is positive content experiences. You definitely want to write that down. Positive content experiences. And Facebook groups allow you to be able to protect that positive content experience. But what's neat about that is that you're able to take that information from the Facebook group and really start learning a lot about the fans that are connected to the fan page, as well as your client's going to be able to start posting content in a very unique way. And so Facebook group is much better than just having fans or followers. You definitely want to make sure people are engaged inside. Not Mark, know about it. Thanks, Bliss. Thanks, Kent. Definitely love it. Who else? Timmy. Hey, Timmy, how are you? Great to have you on here. Alan, awesome. Thanks, guys. I just love it. Definitely a great group this morning or this afternoon. Golly, this day's gone by fast, Jody. Absolutely gone by fast. So with that, think about Facebook groups as a way to be able to start learning more about your clients, their engaged audience is the best way to put it. And so if you're running Facebook campaigns, you definitely want to have fan-based growth campaigns. But when someone becomes a fan of that fan page, have a strategy with your client to invite them into the group and give it a very authentic approach on why they want to join that group. And that's going to give you a lot of ammo to be able to create ads in a big way so that you understand what people are enjoying and what people are not enjoying. Did we lose the screen? Okay. Sorry, I saw you press the play button. It's like, don't press the play button. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Jody's driving, I'm talking, so I got a little distracted there. But so that's the second thing when it comes to Facebook groups. The third thing that you definitely want to pay attention to is Facebook Messenger ads. Facebook Messenger ads. This is the future of Facebook ads, definitely. They go really well with Facebook lead form campaigns that you learn in Social Client Expert. But if you can, write down a website that I believe in that we use as a company called minichat.com. Minichat.com. Somebody want to type that in just in case? Everybody knows what that is? MANYCHAT.com.
I know. I figured out why I don't have your slides.
Why's that?
You didn't send them to me because you did that presentation without slides.
That's right, because we didn't have them. That's right. Now we're learning. Like you guys, I told you this is live, this is raw and real, very authentic. And so when it comes to Facebook Mini Chat, what allows it to happen here is a better vetting process when it comes to being able to generate that lead for your client. And so minichat.com is going to be able to help with chatbots, and chatbots really automate the experience for that lead. And so when you get a chance, go to minichat.com, take a look at their tutorial. You're going to see what I'm talking about, and I'll be sure to send those slides to you so you can have more information on why chatbots are going to be a big deal moving forward.
What? What do you want me to do?
No, I think I'll dive right into the next slide and go right into some questions.
But there's not any slides. Remember?
That's
you
right.
said we're just not going to use slides. If you want to send me the other ones, I'll put them up there.
Absolutely.
And so one of the things we did want to talk about before is, and you shared this earlier, is setting client expectations, what we focus on, and what if things don't go as hoped. That's one of the things I think everyone needs to be aware of.
Sure.
And also, I think some clarification on Let Me Go First will be good for everyone. Because I even got the question last night from people that have heard about it a couple times saying, well, we have that thing we can lead in with. It's not a lead-in tool, it's a closing tool with Let Me Go First. I think we need make sure everyone is very clear on that and how it's to be used, because we don't use it incorrectly.
So let's dive right into that. It's a really good point, Jody. When it comes to Let Me Go First, that is one of the closing tactics that we teach inside Social Client Expert. It is not a lead-in, it's a closing tactic. It doesn't mean that you have to use it, it's just used if you need it. And so let's walk through. So I've already had a meeting with Jody about taking advantage of direct response lead generation, leveraging the power of Facebook, which is a very important phrase you want to be able to get really good at saying. Again, direct response lead generation, leveraging the power of Facebook. That's a very important phrase that'll help you when it comes to explaining what you can do for your potential client. But Jody and I are having a conversation, and what's great about that is that he's going, I like what I'm seeing, Landon, but I'm a little hesitant, not sure if this is going to work for you. And so if I use the Let Me Go First, I want to make it very clear that this is not a free tactic. This is not something that I'm doing for free. It's definitely an investment that I'm going to make when it comes to Jody saying yes to my deal. So a little role play here, if you don't mind, Jody.
I don't.
Oh, good, role play.
Not that kind, Cynthia. Because Cynthia, who is our chatter, is actually sitting here with Landon and I just took the computer away from her. And we mentioned role playing last night, and she's all excited.
Absolutely. So, Jody, I know you want to say yes to this proposal, but I want to give you an opportunity to be able to experience everything on my dime. How does that sound?
Wow, really? I mean, so how would that work? How am I going to experience it on your dime? I mean, this is free?
It is not free at all. What I want us to do, because we've already gone over the agreement, you know this is a 3-month commitment, and when it comes to the Let Me Go First opportunity, I want to invest my own money to where I can onboard you and so you can engage with our team, so we can build out your campaigns, get your campaigns live as quickly as possible, and then I'm going to invest in the paid advertising for your company so that you can experience the total package of working with our digital marketing team, because that's what you're investing into. We're not a lead buying company, we're a digital marketing agency that has an excellent digital marketing team that builds, launches, and manages a marketing machine to generate leads for your business, and we do that leveraging Facebook. So if you don't mind, let's sign this agreement today, and after that initial campaign goes live, we're going to be able to experience potential lead generation, but at the same time, you're going to see the entire package so that you're not going to know how awesome and how valuable this team is to be able to generate those leads for your business. How does that sound?
So let me get this straight. I'm going to sign the agreement.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to run it for 7 days. If I like it, then you process my credit card.
That is correct.
If I don't like it, then you don't process my
There's
credit
no
card.
risk on your part. I'm taking a total investment. I'm going to use my money to bring you on board so you can experience the total package.
So it's only if I don't like it, or is it if it's not producing results?
We're going to set those expectations during the onboarding call so that we're setting realistic expectations for lead generation. So depending upon the ad spend in the market and the specific offer, we're going to be able to nail down exactly what success is in that first week. And then from there, if you're not satisfied, then you do not have to commit. But if you are satisfied, you see the progress, you see the momentum, you see the awesome commitment that we have to see that we're going to make sure that your campaigns are successful, then yes, on day number 8, we'll process your initial payment and begin the 90-day relationship.
I don't really see how I could lose with that kind of deal.
No, that's absolutely the opportunity for Let Me Go First. I appreciate the easy lead into that, but that's the whole point behind the Let Me Go First. It is not a free package. Do not use the word free. You're not a lead buying company, and when it comes to the experience, people will definitely want to make sure that they experience the entire digital marketing team. They experience the onboarding call. They experience the creative process. They experience the campaigns going live. They experience the collaboration. They experience the potential lead generation that happens in that week. We set some honest projections when it comes to the Facebook ad spend budget, and we're going to be able to show you that we are the digital marketing team that you can trust long term.
Right. So somebody put in here, said in the emails, it's offering a free test drive. However, in the video training, we pre-qualify them.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is that you have to look at this, the way I look at this, is there some car dealers where you can walk in off the street and do a test drive? There are other car dealers that you cannot walk in off the street and do a test drive, although they do offer a free test drive, but they qualify you before they let you get behind the wheel of a Lamborghini or behind the wheel of a Ferrari or behind the wheel of a Lexus. They don't let anybody walk in off the street, yet they do offer a free test drive. We're doing the same thing here. We're pre-qualifying that they are in a position to take the test drive and make a decision to buy if they do like what they see. It's no different. Every car dealer offers a free test drive, but not anybody can walk in off the street and get behind the wheel.
Absolutely. And the biggest thing with this, guys, is that this is a closing tactic and only used if you need it. When you're setting appointments, you're going to be able to have a presentation that we teach inside Social Client Expert that's going to show them the exciting potential of leveraging the power of Facebook for their lead generation services that you're going to be providing. But on the flip side, the intent is for them to be able to experience the digital marketing team and for us to move into the relationship day number 8. So that, because there's a lot of, I don't know about you guys, but put one in the chat box. If you ever talked with the client and they were just not hesitant about, can you really do what you're talking about? Just put a 1 in the question box. Or anybody here, have you ever had that experience where someone says, can you really do this? And can I trust you to work with you? Has anybody had that? Absolutely, several people have. And thank you very much, Timmy.
Right, and we actually had a conversation earlier handling objections, and that's one of the things somebody said, what makes you different? What makes us different is the fact that we will actually put our money where our mouth is. We'll go first. We'll show you that we can prove what we do, and then we can decide. We're already deciding if you're going to move forward if we prove it. Mm-hmm. That's what makes us different. How many people will walk in the door and offer to go first?
Absolutely.
That's a differentiator.
And when you put your hand on top of marketing campaign being built. You're investing in the ad spend, and so there is risk involved there. There is no guarantee that this day number 8, Jody's going to say, yes, I can process your credit card. That's why it needs to be a strategic closing technique with the right ideal prospect that takes marketing seriously. It's very, very important. So if you're already working with someone that you know spends a lot of money in marketing, this is a very good tactic to use, and they're going to respect the offer that you're going to give them. But if you're working with someone that's new to marketing, hasn't done Facebook before, they're on the fence, and they've always been hesitant, and then you throw this out as like a bone to try to get them to say yes because they have nothing to lose, you've already lost. Would you agree with that, Jody?
Yes.
I mean, absolutely. This is using a strategic closing tactic with the right ideal prospect that values you, values the concept of working with the digital marketing team, and definitely wants to commit to someone that is committed to them creating the right marketing machine for their business. That's the purpose of Let Me Go First. But I will tell you this, if for some reason anybody in here, and for everybody to know, if you invest into the bronze package and we build out a campaign for a client that you're using the Let Me Go First and it does not work and they walk away, we will credit you and you will not have to pay us again to be able to start another campaign. Is that a fair deal? Absolutely. We're going to credit you, and if you want a refund, I'd be glad to refund your money. I don't want to say that out loud. It's recorded now. It's too late. But my point is, but in all
I'll edit
seriousness,
it.
it's a good business deal. That's the heart behind it. You're in the business of doing good business. Would you agree with that? Say yes. Yes. Absolutely. So in doing good business, this is a good business closing tactic, but do it with the right ideal prospect, and they will respect you for it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Absolutely. Sorry, I'm just
He's only a little bit passionate.
I am a little bit passionate, but please understand it again. It's a closing tactic, not a lead-in tactic. And I'll leave it there. We can move on. No.
There's not enough bandwidth.
The bandwidth, excuse.
But we're actually using Harold's phone because there's not enough Wi-Fi bandwidth.
Timmy, thank you so much for that feedback. I truly appreciate it. If there's any more questions, jump them in here. If we don't get them live on the call, we'll definitely follow up after the webinar is over for sure.
Right. So could you give us a few industries right now that people are having success with? Because I know there's case studies and there's different things, but you're on calls all the time.
Yes.
They want to do two things. One is clarifying and qualifying what has to happen for you to get on a call. So we know that your time is very valuable, and we want to make sure that everyone knows what that is. And then secondly, what are some of the industries that people are being successful with right now?
Sure.
That they may not be thinking about?
Absolutely. When it comes to getting on a phone call with me, inside the bottom of module 1, there is an application there that you can complete, and then that notification comes directly to me and to my team. I personally respond to every one of those emails, and so that I can send you my personal calendar. We schedule a call. I'd have to forewarn you if you do that. Yes, the schedule is full. The first opportunity is not until June 12th at the moment. One reason why is because we're spending a week here at the boot camp and the mastermind until Tuesday of next week, and then the following week I'm traveling as well. But please submit that application. I'll follow up. We'll get on the phone when I send you my calendar, and we'll have a great call about your prospect, about your own agency, and about what's working, what's not working, so you can position yourself for success. That's how you get on the phone with myself using that application feature inside Social Client Expert. Great questions already coming in.
How do we contact you? He just answered how to contact him.
Yes.
Get on the call.
And absolutely. And again, remove the phrase 1 week free from your vocabulary.
Yeah.
Never say that to a client. Never even think that anymore because it's a 1 week investment. And you're making that investment to be able to use it for the right client to close. So please understand that. And after this recording, go back to what I just explained there. I don't want to be repetitive here. Too much at least. I know I repeat myself sometimes, but in all seriousness, can't remove the words 1 week free from your vocabulary because it's definitely nothing free about it.
Right. The question here is do you get a better open response rate sending from a domain URL or Gmail URL? Some training says use Gmail, some says use G Suite. Appreciate any tips for cold email sending.
That's true.
Right. There's not a email sending service that's part of Social Client Expert. I will tell you from experience that you probably do not want to use a Gmail or an email from your domain name because if it gets locked down, your domain is toast. Sending it from a Gmail, I've always had better experience with. Even when I worked with Digital Marketer, we sent from Gmail, and we used trying to think of all the different services, but when you send from a Gmail account, the reason that you get a better open rate is that's better deliverability without having to invest in a full-blown system. Once you get to the point where you're able to invest in an email system, then you want to start looking at a enterprise type system. But to get started with, if you don't want to be sending 500 emails a day anyway, because that's really not feasible. So sending from a Gmail is going to get you the best response rate if you're just getting started. If you already have customers, you're already in a place, then investing into an enterprise solution is where you want to go next. But for starting out, utilizing Gmail is going to get the best response, so the best open rate and the best response. But you want it to be something that makes sense, like a semblance of your business name, not John Smith at Gmail. You want it to be a business name at Gmail. For instance, our business is Green Elephant. We're Green Elephant Agency. I have a Gmail that's GE Agency. I have one that's Green Elephant. I have one that's Green Elephant Agency at Gmail. I have G Elephant Agency. You want it to be something that looks like a business name, not just a person's name, when you're going to do that. How about, can you explain the onboarding process?
Well, let's back up a little bit because Clay had a very good point there. We forgot to talk about some best industries and niches at the moment. Absolutely. Right now,
and this is good because that's actually on the wall here. That's niches.
Absolutely. Right now, we're seeing a lot of great opportunities in the real estate space. Real estate investors that are looking to flip homes, real estate investors that are looking to buy homes for cash is a big deal. Real estate investors that are looking for seller leads is a big deal. So the topic of real estate is hot. When it comes to agents and agencies that value marketing and already spend a lot of money in marketing, we have several campaigns in this space so that more people that come on board in the real estate niche, we're all going to be able to compound results so that everybody can win from each other's campaigns. Excuse me, I need to breathe. Woo! There we go. I get too excited about that. But we're also seeing when it comes to CPAs and taxes, I actually had that on the wall before, if you guys remember this from yesterday. Local business owners that is doing taxes or tax planning, CPA firms, local accountants, those are big, hot, and heavy ones, especially going after business owners. There are some success in car dealerships. Car dealerships are a lot of hot topics right now because disposable income is going up. Our economy is booming per se. A lot of purchasing going on, and car dealerships spend a lot of money in marketing. And then on the flip side, we have, I personally do a lot in the trucking industry. There's over 550,000 carriers in the trucking industry in the United States, and not one of us can reach all 550,000 of them. So if you know anybody in the trucking space that owns a small fleet, they are desperate in the world of driver recruiting, and Facebook ads definitely work for that and bring down driver acquisition costs. That's a big one. What else was there on my slide in the presentation? What's that? Mortgage brokers. We've had to change a lot because of the privacy updates that Facebook has had. However, we're leveraging the power of ManyChat. We've got a new template that we're using inside of mortgage brokers or loan officers. That is still working. It does take a little bit longer than some of the other niches that I just meant. But if you're starting out and you don't have a niche just yet, I assure you real estate's a great one to get into. And I'll leave it at that to keep it simple. I don't want to give everybody 14 different options. But real estate, because I know every one of us are in the market, so real estate is a big deal. Okay. Great question.
Regarding training, one mentions landing pages that pre-sell your prospect on the SE sales page. Where is this? You click on bonuses, and it will open up where that is at. You have to, I don't like the way it's laid out. No, I didn't lay it out. When you hover over bonuses, there's a drop down, but you actually have to click on the word bonuses, and it will open up the landing page. Facebook Live training. You mentioned that in the next video we'll discuss some do's and don'ts of Facebook Live, merely how to install a live video in the ad. Any training on the best practice for Facebook Live video, and the difference between video and Facebook Live video?
Sure. Well, when it comes to the difference between video and Facebook Live video, that's a great question, Ross. I appreciate that. There is a massive difference. Facebook loves Facebook Live. It keeps people engaged. How many people enjoy Facebook Live videos in here?
Everybody's hands up.
Put a 1 in the checkbox. Put a 1 in the checkbox. Cynthia's going to give me a hard time here in the comment section if you're all about Facebook Live. What's great about Facebook Live is that it tips the algorithm of Facebook because they love to be able to give live video because of what I just told you at the beginning of this call when it comes to positive content experience. Positive content experience. And when Facebook sees a Facebook Live video, they know that this is content built for that specific audience. or built specifically for the audience that they're targeting. I can't quite put my finger on exactly why the algorithm loves it, but we've done plenty of tests when we've tested video campaigns versus Facebook Live video campaigns, which you can use both, and we show you that in the training. But I assure you that Facebook Live videos perform by far better than video campaigns themselves. And so if you can do Facebook Live videos with your clients or for yourself, I assure you that you can repurpose those for lead form campaigns, and you'll see success with those if set up correctly. And so when it comes to the training about the best practices, I definitely need to put together a new training of how, the top practices that you need to do if you do Facebook Live videos yourself, or if you're going to consult your client on it. I think with all my heart, I believe that Facebook Live video consultation is an upsell that you can give to your client. We do that for other clients to where we will consult. I have a political client right now that's doing several Facebook Live videos, and once a week, I jump on a call with him to discuss his next Facebook Live video, and I give him the specific bullet points of what he's going to discuss. Very simple to do, but priceless in value to him. And he pays some good money for that time. And so I give him the bullet points. He takes the bullet points. He shoots the video, fires it off to me. I give him my feedback, and then he polishes it. Once he's confident, his wife films him in his office on the Facebook Live, and then we use that in our campaigns in the back end and the ads manager. And so Facebook Live definitely is a powerful tool. You definitely want to leverage it. There's many ways to leverage it. And I will help me remember this.
Everybody will help you.
I know, and Meredith will definitely help me remember this. I will put together a new training when it comes to the best practices of what a Facebook Live video needs to consist of so that you get. Carlos, thank you for that one when it comes to Facebook Live videos. Appreciate that, buddy. But when it comes to the Facebook Live videos, there are specific bullet points that you need to follow to be able to get the most views, the most engagement, the most shares, etc. That is only going to bring up the relevancy score in your ad campaign when you reuse that video. And so I'll put that training together and put it into Social Client Expert.
Somebody's asking you, send me the automotive campaign example. It's in the training. If you go into resources, go down towards the bottom of the page, it's there. You just go in, click the button, and it will download.
Also, another thing when you're doing live video versus recorded recordings, the live video gives your audience a chance to feel like they're a part of your success and that they've been there since you started or since they found you. And so your growth is kind of like their growth. And you get more intimate relationship when you can go on live stream with someone, ask a question, say hello, have them shout you out on the live stream, and they feel like they're part of it, and you're creating a synergy between people, and it's undeniably a very strong attraction marketing technique, as well as Facebook loves it, and it's all good for your business. So Facebook Live is definitely something you want to invest in doing.
Absolutely.
So very quick question. How many of you that are here in the room saw the Facebook Live that I did from the mansion? About probably over half the room's hand went up. Did it help make a decision that you wanted to come here? Did you find it, wow, I'm really getting to see what the place that I'm going to go to looks like? Mm-hmm. That's the same thing. Did any one of you see the Facebook Live that I did from the car dealership with Geo Lead Pro? With Bigfoot? No, that was the best one. So the thing, I did Facebook Lives whenever we brought out text messaging. The fact is that you have to do it more than once. And when you do it, though, people love the engagement, love to be on there. And when people watch it later, they feel like it's live because they see the comments coming in real time wherever they're at in the video. Absolutely. And whenever you can help your customers understand that. Also, if you go to a Facebook page that's for a car dealer or for somebody like that, and there's a live video where they're talking about something specific, if you're interested in that, will you take the time to watch it? Yes, we will. I can promise you, Vanessa, whenever I bought that big blue truck out there, I drove her crazy watching videos, watching Facebook Lives, until she finally said, just go buy one. And then it's Bob's fault that I did. Huh? They can't hear you, but it's fine. She just said it was okay.
He wore her down.
Hey, Lawrence, when it comes to the automotive campaign, if it's not in there, I can send it over to Meredith and upload it to the Social Client Expert. So just FYI.
I'm going to let you answer that.
Can I also talk a little bit about what to go first?
Yeah.
Okay, so with the Let's Go First, one of the things I really find an advantage with my clients is that I get to get on the phone and with Landon and the team, and we create their digital strategy for their paid ads. And so the Let Me Go First, even if all the owner did was get that paid digital strategy, that's priceless because that right there is worth $500 to $1,000, regardless of whether they do the actual Facebook ads or not. Getting a digital strategy, people pay money for that. So it's really that's one of the things I like about it best because we can get the best strategy for the best.
That's very good feedback, Cynthia. When you're making that investment, they are getting some serious value on top of the potential lead generation that'll be generated in that first week. And so it's very important to understand the total value. That's why I preach extremely strong, very strong, excuse me, when it comes to understanding the total package that they're investing into so they can have the total experience of working with the digital marketing team. Because most likely, they may have had a bad experience. Anybody work with a client that had a bad experience with a marketing company?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, several people. So in that investment, you're able to show that this is going to be a good experience, that they can trust everything.
We've lost the signal.
Losing the audio.
Says it's coming. There we go. Check the network connection. All right, hopefully you can hear us now.
Is that better, guys? Audio's back? Thank you so much for your patience with that. If you saw our view, you would be patient. No, that is for sure. We're definitely high in the mountains, and we can't thank enough for the power of a hotspot for sure. So thank you, Cynthia, for that feedback, because when they invest in that, Let Me Go First.
They didn't hear.
I don't think, did you guys hear Cynthia's feedback on Let Me Go First and her experience? Put a one in the comment box. I'm going to stop saying check box. If you did. Questions box.
Chewbacca.
Did you guys hear what I was saying about the strategy on the Let Me Go First?
Didn't get any of that. Cynthia, repeat that.
No, not really.
Okay, so one of the things that I find really great about the Let Me Go First is even if all they got was the digital strategy, you get on the phone with Landon, him and his team look at the business and what they're doing, and then he can create a digital strategy for your paid ads. So even if a client decides not to go with the Facebook ads, they're at least getting that strategy over the phone with Landon and the team. So that right there, people pay hundreds to thousands of dollars for is just a digital strategy. I mean, you can look up social media strategists, and you'll see there's a huge industry of people that are paid just for strategy. With this, we're giving you that digital strategy included in that first 7 days. So that right there is priceless because I used to do digital strategy and I know it's expensive.
Absolutely.
And you're giving it away for, just the cost of, and going on to the call.
Amen.
Absolutely. Gotcha. Go ahead.
So somebody had asked about the onboarding process. Cynthia, have you been through an onboarding process?
Yes, I have.
Can you kind of explain that instead of Landon explain it
Sure.
from the customer side, or Dustin, or somebody else wants to kind of share what that experience was like? Because it's one thing for those of us who are behind the product to talk about it, but it's another thing whenever you hear from one of your peers who's gone through the process.
Sure. So the onboarding process starts with going into the first module, go down to the bottom, click that button to apply for services, and then you fill out the form, put in your credit card information, and then you set a call up with the team. And then once you are on the phone with the team, we have Landon and Bobby, and they go over what it is that you're looking for, the kind of like the goals that you want to have with your campaigns, and you get the 3 campaigns on the bronze level package, which is what I started out with. And so, we just, ping-pong back some ideas between each other on, hey, what ones are you thinking that are converting the best? Look at my audience and tell me what you think I should focus on, clients that are in my audience. And so one of the campaigns that we're setting up is for my coaching services. Another one that we set up was real estate, and we also set up,
It was mainly real estate.
the loan officers, and one for a product. And so, and that one was really good.
Yeah, we're getting back to there.
Yes, yes. So, if I could say anything about the whole onboarding process, is know that you've got someone who cares more about your success than probably you even could imagine. When you get on the phone with Landon and Bobby and Kimmy, if she's on it, yeah, then you have people who are willing to do whatever it takes to make you successful. And if a campaign isn't being successful, then they're on it to help you to tweak it and everything so that it can be successful. Sometimes it's a picture, sometimes you need a video, sometimes it's the copy needs to be tweaked a little bit. They don't just let it go and say, oh, here, that's it. It's customized to you and your business, and they track it and they make sure that everything that they're doing is going to help you proceed in your business. And I love it because I'm a done for you type of girl. I work with Go Mobile, and we've had multiple different products in the 3 years that I've been here. And I knew that once we came out with the done for you, I could succeed because I didn't have to be an expert in Facebook ads. I could let Landon be the Facebook expert and do his job the way he does it, and I could do mine, which is connecting people and businesses with the right team.
You want to share your experience?
Yeah, I just went through the closing process, onboarding process, about 2 hours ago. I think one of the key things there is having, besides you, having Landon and his team start that relationship. So you're actually talking to that person, they're starting to invest trust in you, and I think that's a big thing too. Be able to, it's relax, an opportunity for them to ask questions. That you have the expert right there on your, right on your right hand, if you want to put it that way. So they're there to answer the questions. It's very clean. It's step by step, and also it gives you a chance to bounce off ideas and what didn't work and what worked before. So I think that's a really good setup there to get into, and then it also goes into start going to targeting, kind of what worked before, what kind of information on the fields on the lead forms that you fill out. So you kind of brainstorm on what would be a specific information field that you want. So that, for instance, the last one, we're targeting wedding banquet areas and corporate events. So we went and broke those campaigns down individually, and we went into what you want them to, what do you want them to fill out in that form, so you know that you're meeting the qualified list. So for a wedding, it would be, what are you looking for? What time are you looking for? Is it Friday or Saturday? Because Friday is usually a cheaper option. And then we're also going to what's a good offer to get that person in there to generate the lead. So it's real clean, and it's, like I said, it's a good chance for you and for Landon and for their team to kind of bond together. And it's not just a name; it's a voice, and if you do video, I guess it's your face too. But we didn't do video, so I think it's a real good setup for getting in and getting things going. Hopefully that was enough.
And for those of you who just came in with through Brian Anderson, that was Dustin, who you saw do a video testimonial. Yeah. I don't know. Is that the only one you had?
Yeah, well, now that I signed a client, I can get another shirt.
Absolutely.
The one thing too about the onboarding process is the more touch points that you have with your team, with that client, the more they trust that you're going to fulfill what you say you're going to do. And I've ran into a lot of people who said, oh, well, I had somebody who told me they were going to do it, and they just took my money and never did what they said. And, so then you've got to win them over a little bit. And to do that, it's great to have the calls with Landon, because then they're in there, in the call with you and with him. Another touch point. It's another building block of trust for for you and your client, and that you will fulfill what you say you will.
Cynthia and Dustin, thank you guys very much. And to answer one other section of this is that not only do we go over the offer and the targeting, which is very important on the onboarding process, we want to be an extension of your team. So if we need to be your Facebook guru, or if we're just the head of marketing, or if we're just an extension of your team, however you want to title it, we can be that person. We also work with marketing consultants that are very transparent that this is another company. I have my own separate company, but it's my job to go find the right solution so we can be who my company is if that's needed. But however that's going to be, we're just an extension of your team. And so when we close that business and you invest in one of the packages, we send the onboarding link through Zoom. So we have a Zoom call. We set up your white label dashboard where it's through Basecamp so that everything's completely white labeled, and we're able to go over and have a centralized communication, file sharing, reporting, and as well as customer service dashboard. And here at this bootcamp, I'm going to go over more of this in detail here just after this webinar. And so if you have any questions about the onboarding process, go to the application. Let's get on the phone. Let's talk about your company. Let's talk about your specific goals. Let's talk about your specific prospects. And then I'll go into more detail about the onboarding process. But with what Dustin said, with what Cynthia said, we are definitely an extension of your team. We provide a white label dashboard, and we build, launch, and manage everything so you can focus on the relationship and focus on sales while we do the fulfillment as an extension of your team. Great question from Ross. When it comes to the pre-qualifying process with a potential client, can you provide a few more targeted qualifying questions we can ask the client prior to bringing that client to the onboarding process? That's a big one because we talked a lot about that this morning, didn't we? When it comes to what is an ideal prospect and what is an ideal client. A couple things that I want to emphasize is that you are a digital marketing team. You are not a lead buying company, and that client needs to understand that. And so the ideal prospect is someone that definitely values marketing. We have said that so many times since we've been here, but it's so easy to try to convince someone that marketing is important. It's so easy to be that person that's going to bring on the bad client. But if you bring on the bad client, it's going to suffocate your growth and suffocate your scalability. And so they need to be someone that already spends money in marketing, has a budget, is willing to invest at least 90 days with your team to make sure that they're going to give you the time frame to build out that marketing machine that generates leads, leveraging the power of Facebook. And then on top of that, what is their sales process? Ask them that specific question. If my marketing machine sends you a lead, what happens next? That's a very, very good question. And if they can't answer that question, I wouldn't even think about bringing them on board potentially, because they may not be able to handle the lead volume and close the business, and eventually they'll walk away because they're not making any revenue. So ask about the sales processes on the back end. It's very, very important. And on the flip side, ask about the other marketing they invest into. You want to learn about the holistic picture of what kind of client you're dealing with. And so ask them, are you spending money elsewhere in marketing? If so, where? How's that working for you? What has worked? What hasn't worked? All those important questions. Jody, what are some other questions that you feel are very important?
The main thing when it comes down to the process, and I've done this is from experience on being on some of these calls, is a lot of times they will either qualify or disqualify themselves from those questions of what their sales process is. A lot of times if you just say, what's your sales process, they're going to look at you like you have an eye in the middle of your forehead, because they have not given any thought to actually what their sales process is. They all have one, but they can't really tell you what it is. Just like if I was to ask everyone what their core values were, you can't really come up with it off the top of your head, but if I give you some examples, you can then start to choose them. So the way to position that is, if we bring in 10 leads for you, how many of those do you feel like you'd be able to turn into a customer? I usually say between 5 and 7. Okay, well, what would that look like? How would you be able to do that? Then they'll tell you what their sales process is. It's just a different way of asking it, but it's doing it in such a way that they're indirectly answering the question, what is your sales process?
Absolutely.
No. Yes.
If it's not Jody's insider tip, he doesn't want to hear it. No. So one of the things I found is a specific example is anyone who is advertising on the radio, TV, billboards, and specifically radio. And I don't know where everybody here lives, but if you go to your website of your local radio station, and you go to the bottom and you look at the word sponsors, and you click on that button, all the people that do ads on that radio or a sponsor, they are listed on that sponsor page. So you can go there and you can just start calling from the A's to the Z's on the sponsor page. You know that they invest in some type of marketing and radio ads. I have a client who just did a radio ad $5,000 for a 6-week radio ad.
Golly.
And she didn't see the return, but she definitely sees the return that we can get her.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's got clients coming in.
That's what we call a writer downer.
Yeah. So go to the sponsor page, the radio station, TV station. Those sponsors are people who pay money to have things put on their website. Also, if you're at a football game or a baseball game, and you see those banners hanging in there, roofing companies are always putting banners up at sports games. Those people are investing a lot of money in your advertising and in your marketing, and you want to call them because you want them to transfer some of those advertising and marketing dollars over to digital. Everybody knows they need to go digital. And so when you call them and say, hey, I realize you're spending all this money on that, let's look at what that would look like if we took just a little bit of it and put it towards some digital advertising. Would that be something you'd be interested in?
Absolutely.
And so that's a great way to get some leads and clients as well.
Cynthia, thank you for the awesome feedback. It's obvious that she's going through the social client expert teaching and taking some serious action, which is awesome. Thank you so much, Cynthia. It's wonderful to have you here at this boot camp.
Well, it's taking action, really.
Absolutely.
I mean, because I wouldn't say I've gone through the entire training, but it's taking action.
Absolutely.
Getting a no. I've
Focused
found that
energy.
getting a no's is what has helped me the most because I was so afraid of rejection for whatever reasons. But once I started getting some no's, I didn't die when I had that no, and I got another no, and I still didn't die. So I built my confidence, and it built what's called resilience. So resilience is your ability to get some kind of negative feedback and push through it because your dream's on the other side, and your dream is bigger than that fear.
Absolutely.
And so breaking through the fear, getting the no's, try to get the no's, and on the way to getting 100 no's, you're likely to get a couple yeses.
Absolutely. Good thoughts. A lot of thank yous. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you. Absolutely. It's awesome stuff. Let me go through. Jody and I only have about 5 more minutes here on this initial first coaching call. Don't worry, we have 3 more weeks after this, so I'm going to quickly go through these last few questions here. Leonard asks, can you choose the ad spend per day? Absolutely. When we go through the presentation process as well as the onboarding process, we definitely dial in what that projected ad spend should be based upon their goals. And so if a client is talking about wanting to invest into generating X amount of leads, we reverse engineer that and want to be able to talk about what ad spend based upon our research and what the data is telling us inside Facebook. And also when it comes to competition level in the specific market, we come back with a projected ad spend dollar for them to be able to budget in when it comes to your agreement. So great question, Leonard. But yes, you can definitely choose what your ad spend is per day.
And Landon, inside of ad spend, the average daily ad spend is just the average. But you work with finding out whether it's better to do a 7-day ad spend double and then a 7-day off versus just a $5 ad spend for 30 days, or is it better to do $15 ad spend for 7, off for 7, $15 ad spend for 7, and off for 7. So his team really dives deep into what's the best time. Maybe this weekends are best for your potential clients. Maybe it's weekdays in the evenings. And so his team goes in and they do all the research, they gather all the data, and they create the campaign that's going to work best for you. So average daily spending is it's really a case-by-case basis. It's customized based on their niche.
Great question, Lawrence, coming from you. Speaking on offer, what are some offers usually for the automotive clients? And Lawrence, if you don't mind, I'll make sure you get that case study of the campaign that we ran in the automotive space so that you can see exactly what that looks like versus trying to make you visualize what I'm saying. That's pretty much it. Landing pages again. You want to revisit that one last time?
But can you explain the GOMO landing page as it says that we'll be paying money other than the $5 for each landing page? You're paying $5 per month for the hosting. That's the only charge for it. There's not another charge.
Absolutely.
So, and the thing is, you don't have to use it. We just put it in that format for you to be able to. There's other templates in there as well that you can use. But we do that basically is just it's a pass-through cost of what it cost us on the hosting. Cool.
Good to know I won't die.
Good to know you won't die. All right.
It's serious though, but
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Me too. It's like, it's-
I had that. I overcame it.
Absolutely.
I beat anorexia too. Those of you can't see me, I'm not seeing it. If that was offensive to anybody, I apologize. It was only meant to be self-deprecating.
There we go.
See, I even do that.
Yeah, it's not that.
All right. But thanks, everybody. That looks like that's it for the questions. Thank you for your patience as we were getting things put together. Let's see. There's not really.
Hey, Timmy, if you want, let's talk about that onboarding question. I know that we've already spoken, so let's make sure that we get on the phone and discuss that specifically, okay? So you can either use yours or you can go through the process that we go through. However, we can support you.
Cool. Let's see.
Stephen, when it comes to the dental niche, yes, it is saturated, but there is campaigns that are converting there. You just need to talk about your specific market.
No.
Ross, that's a great question because when it comes to real estate, do me a favor, go through, instead of trying to explain that, because that's a big answer, instead of go through the application process and let's get on the phone and let's talk about that specific campaign that you're running there.
The best way to get your questions answered is to do the action that you want the answers to. So if you want to find out how the onboarding process goes, apply for an onboarding call.
Sounds so simple. And with that note, thank you everybody for taking the time to be here. Sorry we had the audio problems. We have to stay on schedule where we're at. And as Nathan said, the team is always there and available. Any other questions, you can send them in to support at Go Mobile Solutions, and they'll get them over to us if need be.
And as we like to say,
Go,
go,
go, go!
yes.
All right, so now, from the bottom of my heart, I apologize for if you took offense to me being rude. I just had to get everybody's attention, and I had to do it like you do your kids sometimes. You have to threaten to take something away to get them to shut up. Vanessa? So again, I just had to do what I had to do to make what I needed to have happen. If it was offensive, I apologize. Yes, Cynthia here. She can type and talk.
This is how it goes. It goes from I lost something, I became a successful student, and then I became an expert. I mean, you're watching it right here live. Good stuff, man. And then you become a master.
The Jedi.
Obi-Wan.
Let me press one. What's that?